Really quick, UnCloned Insiders, it's time to go from unknown to uncloned. You got to have the UnCloned book bundle, the #1 book bundle in the marketplace to help you live an uncloned life and build an uncloned brand. All you have to do is head over to unclonedbb.com. That is unclonedbb.com. Until next time, let's go live an uncloned life and build an uncloned brand. Hey y'all, what's going on? If you can hear me, put a oh yeah in the chat. I am joined today by my husband, Calvin Richmond. So if you see this face in the chat, just know he's a part of the team. If you have any questions, let us know. Hey, Miss Lee, how are you all doing? Hey, is it Nao or Nao? Nao? I think it's Nao. So hopefully you're doing great. Hopefully I'm not jacking y'all name up, but nevertheless, I'm excited to be here, y'all. So we set up a I'm experimenting here on YouTube. We set up a super chat goal. Basically whoever provides a super chat, I'm gonna do a private Q&A, private group Q&A with those individuals. I'm just testing it out. It's a new YouTube feature. If you feel compelled, do a super chat. If not, no problems. All right. Nevertheless, hey y'all, what's going on? How are you doing today? Today we're going to be talking about the top 15 key characteristics of an uncloned brand. If you're ready, put ready in the chat. Okay? If you are ready, put ready in the chat, because I want to make sure I'm here talking to the right people at the right time. All right? And so, how many of you all know your uncloned brand score? Just put yes in the chat. And if you don't know your uncloned brand score, put a no in the chat. If you know your uncloned brand score, put a yes in the chat. And if you don't know your uncloned brand score, put a no in the chat. And if you're watching this on the replay, let us know in the comments if you know your uncloned brand score. If you have heard about the assessment and you heard about it, because I talked about it on the last YouTube video. If you know about this assessment and you still have not taken the time to go learn your uncloned brand score, what are you waiting on? It is absolutely free. It is way more helpful to you than it is us, because you get to know where you stand with your brand. All right. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later on today on how you can learn your uncloned brand score. But just know your uncloned brand score. We're going to be teaching and coaching and advising based on that score. And so if you know where you stand with your brand, it'll help you navigate through the content that we teach. All right. Okay. So the next thing I will say is that it was something else I wanted to share. Let me think for a second. Oh, yeah. So with your UnCloned brand score, the category that this particular YouTube video would apply more to is your brand IP and ID. All right. We're going to be talking about your overall brand, but that's pretty much what we'll be talking about. All right. So let's get into it. So today we're going to be going over the top 15 characteristics of an UnCloned brand. This data and this insight is pulled directly from my personal brand. It's pulled directly from studying the top brands in the world. And it's also is very consistent across the globe. So when we talk about brands that get it right, brands that are remembered, brands that make top dollar, they all have, if not all of these characteristics as a part of their brand. All right. So let's get into it. So let me, before I get into to what it is, let me introduce myself, because I noticed that over the past couple of YouTube videos, I haven't really slowed down to introduce myself, because there's a lot of people who don't know who I am, who's coming over from Instagram or other platforms. And so if you don't know who I am, my name is Audria Richmond, and I'm a serial entrepreneur with over 16 years of business branding and marketing experience. I'm an executive coach and consultant to high-performing entrepreneurs. I'm an author of multiple books, to include my most recent book, UnCloned Marketing, and I'm the CMO and CEO of UnCloned Media. All right. And then I'm the recipient of 6 awards in branding, marketing, and entrepreneurship. So it's safe to say that you are in the right place. All right. Cool beans. So moving on. All right. So key characteristic number 1, right? An UnCloned CEO who is forward-thinking and values individuality. So before a company can be innovative, when you think about the Disneys of the world, the Marvels of the world, the Apples of the world, the Microsofts of the world, think about what type of CEO you have to be to run those type of companies, right? Like, think about all the knowledge you need to have, everything you need to be thinking about, while also thinking forward, meaning you have to consider innovation. There's a lot of people who are still doing manual things. They're not adopting automation. We're going to talk about that in a moment, on a little bit later on in this conversation today. But when we talk about having a brand, it's how you're going to lead the company. So the key person that's in the business is the CEO, because you drive vision, you drive goals, you drive where we're heading. And so if I met up with you today and said, hey, I want to invest in your business, I want to give you $1 million for your business, could you prepare or share your plans for your brand, right? I think a lot of the times when I see people applying for grants, funding, those kind of things, a lot of people don't really understand that, like, people don't want to give you money if you're not clear. I just want you to know that. So, like, when people say, like, hey, you need to have a business plan if you're seeking investments, or you need to have a plan if you're seeking investors, don't nobody want to give money to any person who's unclear and uncertain. And so if you're seeking funding, or if you're seeking revenue or investors, they want to know you got a plan, because trust me, for every person that don't have a plan, there is a person with a plan. And so if you're navigating your business and you're in your business and you're like, I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to be doing, I don't know where I'm supposed to be focused, you need to get some coaching. Because what I don't want to see is you get so knee deep in your work and so knee deep in what you're doing that you're working wrong fast. Does that make sense, everybody? Just put a 1 in the chat. All right. Does that make sense, everybody? Put a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. I don't want you out here saying, I'm confused, I don't know what I'm doing. And get some help so you can be focused and confident going into 2025. We did an entire 2025 annual planning workshop. We gave people opportunity to join us for free. And for those who didn't, or you're just not learning about it, you can catch the replay by heading over to uncloned.shop and grabbing the 2025 annual planning replay. And one of the reasons why we brought it up a month this year, while we started talking to you all in October, was because we want you to get ahead of the curve. Honestly, a lot of the bigger companies and bigger brands, they already know their annual plan. They already knew their annual plan, hell, probably in 2024 for 2025. And so if you're still on the fence and you unclear about what you're even doing in January, which is in 2 months, then you need to go head over to the shop, get the 2025 annual planning replay, and stop playing with your brand, right? So the number one key characteristics of an uncloned brand is the uncloned CEO who is forward thinking and values individuality. And the reason why I said values individuality, because as a CEO of your brand, you have to be confident in what you say you want to do. You have to be confident in how you're working with clients. You have to be confident in how you're leading your team. You have to be confident in what you're building. Okay? If that makes sense, everybody, put a 1 in the chat. I want to make sure y'all here, because we got quite a bit of people here, and I want to make sure y'all here, you're paying attention, and you tapped in. If this makes sense, put a 1 in the chat. All right? Moving on. Number 2 is has a compelling brand story, mission, and vision. When it comes to your company, what's your brand story? Like if I was to pull you to the side and say, hey, tell me your brand story, what would you be able to tell me? What would be your brand story? If I asked you, hey, what's the brand story of, if I said, hey, what's the brand story of Tom's? You'll be able to tell me, right? You'll be able to tell me. And so I think a lot of the times when we are telling our stories, because I know I'm guilty of this as well, we can get very overwhelmed by all of the moving parts and everything that it takes to really build this brand out and build this business out. And let me say this too, because I feel like a lot of the times business owners look over these things, especially if they don't feel like they're quote unquote that big enough. And let me just say this. You big enough if you had the vision to go start the business in the first place. You big enough if you have payroll and you paying team members. You're big enough if you have a building that you're paying for or space that you're paying for. You are big enough. All right. And so don't stop thinking that because you're a small business that you should be doing small shit, because that's further from the truth. And so I really would like to see you all get super focused and super definite about, where you heading, where you're going, so on and so forth. One of the books that we recommended for this is Vivid Vision. And so if you haven't watched, not watched Vivid Vision, but if you haven't read Vivid Vision, that's one of the books that we recommend. Also, if you are enjoying the content, make sure you like this video and make sure you share it out if you're finding value from today's video. All right. Number 2, well, that's number 2. So number 3 is has a clearly defined visual brand identity. You will notice if you go and look at our YouTube channel, we use the same colors across the board on everything. If you look at our Instagram, we use the same colors across the board on everything. If you come inside of our Facebook group, if you engage with our marketing campaigns, if you download and go get your UnCloned brand score, whatever it is that you're focused on, right? When you're looking at our brand, you will notice that we are consistent visually. Okay. And I don't want you all thinking that like, oh, you need to go out and go spend an arm and a leg on brand identity. But if you plan on being remembered, you better be consistent with that visual brand identity. And the people who don't prioritize branding, they typically get overlooked. People don't take them seriously, and people are not checking for them. Having a visual brand identity is like the outfit for your brand, right? Just like we like to look fly when we go out and network and talk to people when we got our hair done and our clothes laid and all of those things. Like, look, you want to make sure that your brand got a cute outfit too. You don't want to be out here, you looking fine as wine, and then I go and look you up and I'm like, what the hell? Where the hell did I just land? Right? If you want people to take you seriously, pay top dollar and not have pushback when you quote your rates, you need to show up like a pro. And the best way to show up like a pro is by having a clearly defined visual brand identity. I don't have the time to go into what a brand identity is, what it should include, all the things. Hopefully, you will go and research a lot of what I'm saying and start working towards putting those things in place. All right. Okay. Number 4, values, community, and culture. So if you look at some of the top brands in the world, they have thriving communities and they have thriving culture, right? They have thriving communities and thriving culture. If I was to ask you all right now, like, hey, Android versus Apple, there'll be a war in the chat, okay? Because the Android community has its own culture and community, and the Apple people have their own community and culture. And so when you're thinking about your business and your brand, what type of culture do you want to create? You know, that's something that we're working really hard on right now. We want to cultivate a community of learners and high earners, okay? We want to cultivate a community of earners, like, you know, learners and high earners. And when I say learners, meaning you prioritize learning, right? You prioritize reading books. You prioritize investing in yourself. You prioritize learning and sitting down and learning the course and doing the work. That's what I'm saying when I say, like, okay, what kind of culture you want to create? I don't want a culture of community people who don't even have what they say the attention span right now is the attention span of a goldfish or something. I don't know. But nevertheless, y'all have to start making time to learn and read and study. And one thing I know about the people who are here right now, you're definite about your business. You're definite about your goals. You would not be on this. I was going to say Instagram Live. You wouldn't be on this YouTube video if you didn't see the value in what we provide. Some of you all been showing up every single Wednesday since May, when we decided to start being consistent with these YouTube videos. You have not missed a video, right? And I'm so proud of you. And I don't want to cultivate a community of people where they're like, I ain't got time to watch that video. I just didn't have the time. Cause look, the truth is, if your ass is tired of being broke, your ass gonna sit down and watch the videos. If you tired of figuring out how you gonna pay for stuff and how you gonna pay your bills and how you gonna get to your revenue goal and this, that, and the third, you better get super definite about learning. Like, you better find a way to learn that matches you and your modality. So anyway, I said all that to say that when it comes to our brand, we're talking a lot about valuing community and culture. All right. So number 5 is sell uncomparable. Let me break that down one more time. You sell uncomparable. Come on now. Do you feel that in your soul? You sell uncomparable products and services, AKA uncloned offers. Okay. And so when we talk about creating offers, you know, a lot of people be like, girl, I got an offer. I know what I'm selling. But I look at it and I'm just like, girl, I don't know the difference. Y'all get it now? Like, I should be able to look up your offer, whatever it is that you sell. I don't give a shit if you sell consulting, coaching, advisory services, lotion, supplements. I don't give a shit what you sell. If I was to go and look up your brand and your company, can I easily look at your stuff and be like, oh, I don't know nobody that's doing that. Like, they got this on lock. And this the other thing too. You will not know how to create an uncloned offer until you get, you know, you put your blinders on. It's very difficult to create an uncloned brand, uncloned offers, uncloned launches, live an uncloned life if you are following everybody else. If you're looking at what she doing and what he doing and what they got and what she got, and you're comparing your progress based on someone else's achievements, you already lost. You already lost. I can tell you right now, I don't even want you to sit in it. Like, stop following people and comparing yourself to people. Do your own internal work so you can show up as the highest version of yourself. So when I go and look up your products and services, will I say, man, I just can't think of nobody who has this. I've been wearing the same lipstick, okay? This Boss Lady lipstick by the Lip Bar. I've been wearing that lipstick for years, okay? And the reason that I wear that particular brand of lipstick is because I have yet to find any other company out of all the beauty companies out there, I have yet to find anybody who has that perfect red lipstick that looks fire and fine on me. And so whenever I'm getting my makeup done, I'm using that particular lipstick. Whenever I'm going somewhere and traveling, I'm using that lipstick. I have multiple tubes of it. I got it in my purse. I got it in my travel bags. I got it in my bathroom. I got them shits on my desk. I got them everywhere. So, but the reason that I continue to buy it year after year after year is because it's uncomparable. Do y'all got it? Just put a 2 in the chat if you got it. All right. Okay, cool. Number 6 is consistently launch world-class marketing experiences, aka UnCloned launches. Now, I'm not going to go into a deep dive on launches and what it is and all of that because we have a brand new masterclass that we're launching pretty soon. Matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and tell y'all because we're going to do it on November 14th. So y'all can head over to unclonedlaunch.com and sign up. But during that masterclass, we're going to do a deep dive on, we're going to do a deep dive on how you can use launches to grow your brand and business. All right. And so if you're interested in that, you can head over to unclonedlaunch.com. That's www.uncloned, UNCLONED, launch, LAUNCH.com, unclonedlaunch.com, and sign up for that free masterclass. Number 7, you own and create leverageable assets. So again, this is another one of those like super high level things that we just don't think about. I want you all to adopt a new belief going into 2025. Okay. And one of the beliefs that I want you all to adopt is the belief of creating and multiplying yourself, right? Like I want to see you all multiply yourself. I think one of the things I noticed with small business owners is that we have capacity issues. It's like, I don't know what the statistic is, but there's a statistic around, black owned businesses having only one employee, if any, right? And I know we take pride in doing it ourselves and getting it out the mud and all of that. But I'm going to tell you, you should not take pride in working yourself to death. Like you really shouldn't. Like we have to stop creating this toxic thought and belief that you got to grind yourself into the ground and that's how you got out the mud. That's how you self-made. You could be self-made and be a billionaire. You know what I mean? Like you can, it's like when you look at the billionaires and the millionaires of the world, they understand asset creation. They understand buying franchises. They understand buying businesses. They understand trademarks. They understand IP across the board. And so when we talk about leverageable assets, we're talking about you creating a system, a process, a tool, or something that can be multiplied endlessly and consistently without you. Let me say that again. Endlessly and consistently without you. Can you walk away from your business and say, okay, I have this asset that if I was to stop working, it's still going to work for me. And so just start thinking about how you can create leverage in your business. Number 8 is they take protecting their brand and IP seriously. And so we own some pretty strong trademarks. We own UnCloned. We own Publishing Like a Pro. We own our logo mark. I own my name as a trademark. We own I Get Clients. We own Think UnCloned. We own Launch Style. I'm not going to keep going down this rabbit hole with my IP portfolio. But one of the things that you will notice is that we are very, very serious about protecting our brand. And I know there's a lot of talk around, okay, well, when should I get it? When should I go and get my trademark and this, that, and the third? When you want people to stop stealing your stuff. When you want to start running your business without being worried about the fact that, oh, somebody's going to take my stuff. Like, imagine being able to freely market, promote, and advocate for your brand and build it out as grand as you want, knowing that it's protected. knowing that your content is protected, knowing that your name is protected, knowing that your logo is protected. But I don't recommend you go and get a trademark unless you're serious about your business. Because if you're not serious about your business, if you know you're going to quit in 6 months to 12 months, don't even waste your money. But if you definite about building a brand and taking it seriously, then I highly, 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 highly recommend that you go figure out how you can get a trademark for your business, or trademarks, depending on how extensively you want to build out your IP portfolio. All right. Number 9 is values publishing, right? A lot of brands have written books, or they have reports, or they have ebooks. They have some type of a form of publishing. Publishing puts you in a whole nother category, y'all. Okay. Whole nother category. But when you look at some of the dopest brands on the planet, they have written books. You know, the CEOs of these companies have written books to talk about their theory, their process, their framework, or telling their story on how they built the brand. So like the founder of Nike, he wrote a book. I think it's called Something Dog. I can't think of the beginning part of it. But nevertheless, that CEO wrote a book which creates more value for Nike. Same thing with any other brand. Like when I wrote UnCloned Marketing, that creates more value for UnCloned Media. So I'm not saying everybody got to run out and do everything I'm saying in this presentation today. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when you start really adopting putting your CEO hat on, and you're done with being all over the place, and you're done with wavering, and you get definite about building a brand, these are things that you want to incorporate in your process as you navigate through, creating your company and business. Is this making sense, everybody? Just put a 2 in the chat. I want to make sure everybody is following along and that this makes sense. Put a 2 in the chat. Also, there's a significant delay between you and I. And so if you have a question, now is the time to go ahead and start putting them in the chat, because after we conclude with this, we're going to be ending the live stream if we don't see any questions. So if you have any questions, go ahead and start putting them in the chat. So when we get to Q&A, I don't have a problem with answering your question. All right. Number 10, has a world-class team that values excellence. Now, this is something that we're going to get super definite about in 2025, and that is building a world-class team and making sure that we standardize our excellence. We standardize how we support clients. We standardize how we serve and how we show up. I know there's this, again, this idea of I can do it by myself. I can get it out the mud by myself. I don't need anybody, blah, blah, blah. Let me just tell you right now, you don't want to be thinking about being supported. I remember the first time I felt supported was when I was hosting a retreat. It was like a branding retreat, marketing and branding retreat. And I hired an event planner, and I remember that feeling of knowing that, dang, like she really handled this. Like all I had to do was just show up. And I think that if you've never experienced peace and ease, you will assume that everything has to be hard. Let me say that again. If you have never experienced peace and ease, you will assume that everything has to be hard. And I will tell you, stop trying to do it by yourself. It's so many things and people you can hire for the low. Like you can go and get stuff on Fiverr for $5 and $10. You got Upwork. You got plenty of companies that will hire you people in the Philippines. Like there's so many places where you can get help and support. Quit saying, oh, I can't afford it. Yes, you can. Do everybody on here got $3 or $5 or $7? Let's just put yes in the chat. If you got $5 or $7. If you got $5 or $7 and you have enough of those $7 and $5, you can hire a pretty dope team member, right? And so don't think like you got to get all your talent in America. That's what I feel like was my biggest setback, is thinking that my team got to be right here in Atlanta, right? I have to pay American wages, American rates, and that's how I'm going to grow my business, right? But one of the things that I noticed as I was, building my company, I can have an international team and a local team. Why can't I have both, right? And so that was something that I was starting to think through. So next year, we're going to build a local team that's like here in America. And we also going to build an international team. Because one thing Audria is sick of doing right now is overpaying for shitty services. That's just facts on facts on facts. Like, I've paid so many companies to render services for me. And next year, no more. No more. If you're not world class, if you're not excellent, if you don't prioritize customer service and all of that, you ain't getting a goddamn dime from me. So, and we pride ourselves here at UnCloned Media. Matter of fact, let me show you our customer service score so you can see that we not playing. Like, I don't play when it comes to my clients. I don't play when it comes to the people who decide to do business with us. I can't think about the people who don't see us as someone to work with. But for the people who do work with us, they're extremely satisfied with the services they receive here at UnCloned Media. So let me share my screen real quick. All right, can you all see my screen? Can you see my screen? What does that say? What does that customer service score say? What does that say? 99% satisfaction. Out of 202 people, 3 people gave us some down votes, and guess what? It wasn't me when I was running the support desk. It's team members who are no longer here. And so one thing I want you all to know is I don't play around when it comes to customer service. Like, if anybody has ever worked here will tell you, Audria don't play when it comes to customer service. When it comes to her clients, she don't play. Period. And so I can confidently show you our support desk numbers, knowing that, like, hey, we know what we talking about. We know what we doing. And so I want to make sure that we have excellence across the board. Excellent service, excellent team. Everything is excellent. Excellent products, excellent experiences. Like, we prioritize excellence. That is actually one of our core values here at UnCloned Media. Moving on. Number 11 is value strategic planning, right? So if you are the CEO of your company, which most of you all here are, one of the things that you have to get in the habit of doing is understanding how to strategically plan for your business. And if you don't know how to do this, a good start would be to go and get the annual planning workshop. Or if you already purchased the annual planning workshop, is to make sure you go ahead and at least just imagine the confidence that you're going to have when you know that, like, I got my 12 months planned out. Like, how confident will you be if you knew what you was doing in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December? Like, imagine how confident you would be if you knew exactly what you were doing in each month, if you knew exactly what you were selling in each month, if you knew exactly when you were going to be doing marketing campaigns in each month. Not only that, you also understand your brand goals, your revenue goals, and how you plan to grow and scale your business in 2025. I'm done having these basic, average, small business type conversations, because the reason that people don't respect us as Black-owned businesses, and I know I have a diverse range of people that follow me that are of all races and all backgrounds and all cultures, but right now I'm speaking specifically to African American Black people who own a business. The reason that people don't take us seriously because we don't even take ourselves seriously. We don't even take ourselves seriously. I was watching a YouTube video of someone who was coaching a client. And in this video, this person was coaching a client, and out of every guest they ever had, only one person took notes, and it was a Caucasian lady. And I think maybe one other person took notes. But for the most part, like, when we show up, it's like we be all over the place and we take pride in it. It's hella goofy. Like, if I was to pull you to the side and be like, hey, tell me what you do, can you articulate it in a way that's convincing enough where I'm like, okay, cool. I know how to catalog you in my brain. I know how to refer you business. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Like, we have to stop playing, y'all. Like, we have to stop playing. Like, if you want, and this is another thing, you either got a hustle or a business. Get clear on that. If you just going to be a hustler and you just want to sell random shit, great, be a hustler. But if you're going to be a business owner and be a CEO of your company, you're going to have to level up your thinking. You're going to have to level up how you showing up. You're going to have to protect the spaces you go into. You're going to have to protect the conversations you having. You're going to have to be careful about the rooms you're navigating. You're going to have to be careful and calculated in who you hire to help you. Because if you're just trying to sell some sunglasses and shit on the side and some popcorn on the weekends, just keep doing what you're doing. But if you're serious about building a business and building a brand, you're going to have to rethink and rewire your whole goddamn brain in order to get where you're trying to go. All right. Okay. Number 12, leverages automation and tech. You should not be hand tallying anything in 2024. Okay. Going into 2025, y'all, we have too much automation, too much tech, too much ways to leverage and scale our business. And so if you are anti-funnels, anti-automation, anti-tech, you will get left behind. I'm not even going to, belabor this particular talking point. If you are not learning how to automate your business, how to automate aspects of your business, and this is another thing, as small business owners, this is something we should be prioritizing anyway. Right? Like we should be prioritizing automating our business, because the truth is, if you can't afford a team, at least you can afford an automation platform to automate your marketing, automate your client communications, so on and so forth. Like you can still benefit from automation even if it's just you that's working the business, because guess what? Instead of paying a team member, you can instead of paying a team member, an agency, or a service provider, you can make, you can create leverage in your business by adopting automation and tech. Okay. And so don't sleep on this, because one of the reasons my business runs so efficiently is because we use automation and tech. I would not be able to grow my business and my brand if I did not embrace automation and tech. Okay. All right. Number 13, creates opportunity and don't wait for it to be created. One of the things about an UnCloned brand, you're going to go out and you're going to make a way to integrate out in the world. And what I mean by that is, let's say you own a sock brand, right? Let's say you sell socks, for an example. Do you know how to go out and look at different opportunities and find a way for you, to integrate your socks into something? So let's say if I sold socks, I might say, hey, I want to do a campaign during Christmas time called, where we go and give the homeless people socks and we tell them stories and we get to know them. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's me just creating it off the top of my head. Now, whether y'all like it or not, that's not the point. The point is, do you know how to create opportunity from what you do and what you sell? And do you know how to go out and foster something around that idea and what it is that you're doing? So if you're saying you want to go and create a fundraiser program or a campaign or an event or some type of charity event or whatever the case may be, do you know how to go out and create opportunity out of anything? Another example of this is, I had an idea for a client, and she wasn't a client, she was a former client. I had an idea for an event, and I was like, I want to pitch this to the person that I think could benefit from this. This client did not seek me out. I was not hired to put on an event. Create an event for this client. She literally was just like, look, this is fire. Because when I pitched it to her, she was like, man, I want this event. How much does it cost? I literally came up with an idea. I was not contracted to do this work. I created an idea. I reached out to her. I sent her an email. And then boom, just like that, I got money because I knew how to create opportunity. And so if you know how to pitch one-on-one, if you see an opportunity for you that you can take advantage of, why aren't you pitching? Like, y'all waiting on the algorithm to serve up your best client when all you got to do is go hunt for them. So while you waiting on the algorithm, you wasting time. You wasting time. So, an UnCloned brand knows how to create opportunity. Okay. All right. Number 14, a leader when it comes to innovation and create trends. So you want to be an innovation creator. Like you're creating innovation within your business. You're innovating your offers. You're innovating your marketing. Like you want to be a trendsetter, right? Like right, everybody is looking for who they can copy and fall behind and waiting on somebody else to go first. You can be a leader. I can't tell you how many people are now going to create assessments now that I have one, right? Now, assessments are not a new idea, but guess what? I made it trendy. I made it fire because of how I'm positioning it, because of how I'm using it. So you got to be cool with going first. A lot of people ain't cool with going first. You know, people always want to know what somebody else experienced before they go take the experience. Get out of the habit of that. That's a follower mindset. Like if you wait on, like for instance, like if I want to do something, I'm finna do it. I'm not sitting around to see what my friend think about it before I do it. If I want to do it, I'm finna tap in. Matter of fact, I'm typically taking the lead on a lot of things that other people are uncomfortable doing. And this is why I win. Because I take risks. I love to innovate. And I'm cool with being wrong sometimes if I'm innovating in the wrong way. And so this requires a level of self-trust. This requires you to trust yourself. And so just know that if you're going to be leading your company, you too is also over innovation, right? I'm quite sure the CEO of Blockbuster, when the innovation was required, he was stuck in his ways. And a great business went to the ground just because he was a poor leader. And if you look at anybody who buys businesses and resell businesses, the first thing they look for is a CEO who can lead the vision, period. And so I just need you all to know that adopting and becoming a better CEO is not optional, it's required. Okay. All right. Number 15, values their clients and customers. I just showed you my customer service desk. I just showed you how much I value my clients and customers. I just showed you how I'm not playing when it comes to my clients and customers. And I'm very confident in the people who want to work with us. And I could care less about the people who don't, right? Like I've literally have retired from begging folks, not begging folks, but like trying to get people to get it. I'm at this point in my career where if you get it, great, let's work together. If you don't get it, take however long you need, sis. You need 6 months to figure it out. You need 12 months to figure it out. You need 5 years to figure it out. Whenever you done figuring it out, pull up so we can get some work done. All right. So that's number 15. Now let's do a quick recap. An uncloned CEO is forward thinking and values individuality. Number 2, has a compelling brand story, mission, and vision. Number 3, has a clearly defined visual brand identity. Number 4, values community and culture. Number 5, sells uncomparable products and services, aka uncloned offers. Number 6, consistently launch world-class marketing experiences, aka uncloned launches. Number 7, owns and creates leverageable assets. Number 8, takes protecting their brand and IP seriously. Number 9, values publishing. Number 10, has a world-class team that values excellence. Number 11, values strategic planning. Number 12, leverages automation and tech. Number 13, creates opportunity and don't wait for it to be created. Number 14, leader when it comes to innovation and creating trends. And number 15, values their clients and customers. Okay. All right. So we're about to get into Q&A, but before we do, I do want to talk to you about the UnCloned brand score. Over 500 people, y'all, have taken this. Do y'all know how amazing that is? And if you are one of those 500, thank you for believing in yourself, for believing in your brand, for having the courage to take the assessment, to learn your score and not abandoning the process because the questions were hard and maybe you didn't want to face the reality of the answer of those questions. And so if you went through the UnCloned brand assessment and you learned your UnCloned brand score, I want to commend you and thank you and congratulate you on taking action and doing what it takes to be serious and definite about building your brand. So over 500 people have taken this assessment. If you want to be the next person to learn their UnCloned brand score, head over to unclonedbrandscore.com. That's unclonedbrandscore.com. And if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you like the video. And now we're finna dive into Q&A. All right, so let's see what questions we have. Let's see. Okay, so that's funny. This is funny. This is why hot should be commissioned to be played during your lives. That's funny as hell. All right, so let's get into the questions. All right. So the first question we have is, what if a person is having problems financially getting started with marketing but has all the systems in place and offers? What advice would you give? Get the marketing. If you got all the systems and all the marketing and all the things, right? Like, get the marketing, get the promoting, get to marketing. Because if you have everything you need, what's the problem? What you work, what are you doing on a daily basis? Do you have a process for how you generate leads? Do you have a process for, what you have in place, right? Because this the thing, y'all. You get your money by marketing, y'all. You don't need the money before you market. You market to get the money. Does that make sense? Like, do y'all think I came out the gate spending $1,000 a day on Facebook ads? Hell no. My ass went live every day, if not sometimes 2-3 times a day, right? Like, when I got started a decade ago, there was not reels, there was not shorts. You couldn't even live stream directly to a person. The only way you could communicate with people if it was pre-recorded, or if it was if it was pre-recorded, or like, I think back in the day it was called go to webinar, right? Like, there was no Zoom. I know I'm dating myself, but like if you have your offers, if you have your systems and finance, you think finance is the problem, it's not. What are you doing to show up for yourself? Are you creating YouTube videos? Are you recording a podcast? Are you creating reels? Are you pitching yourself to speak? Do you have a Facebook group? Are you engaging in other people's Facebook group? Like, I could give you a laundry list of stuff you can do for free from a marketing perspective without spending a penny. You just got to show up. I didn't need any money to do this live stream today. I needed content and I needed time. That's it. And I showed up. So I don't want you to think that you need to be, have a certain amount of money in order to market. You market to get the money. And then once you get more money, then you can make bigger investments so you can quantum leap and multiply your marketing efforts. So I hope that answered your question. All right. The next question we have is, do you have any teachings on how small businesses can trademark or patents available? I'm not an IP attorney. As much as I value IP, I should become an intellectual property attorney. But there's plenty of IP attorneys on Instagram. So I would just type in IP attorneys and look for who I could, possibly partner with. All right. The next question is, what advice would you give on hiring a teammate overseas for marketing? There's so many books. One of the books that come to mind, well, number one, you could go to YouTube and just type in how to hire a team overseas. You'll find plenty of videos. But before you start going on a hiring spree, you want to be clear about who you need to hire and what will they be doing. And this is the other thing. I'll tell y'all a fast, hard truth, right? One of the things that I did early on was prematurely hiring people before I was clear. So I know there's this thought that like, well, that's why I'm hiring people so I could get clear. Nope, you're going to waste money. You will waste money because don't nobody want to work with a confused CEO, right? You will find that people ain't going to work with you long. They're going to leave you. They're not going to be dedicated to what you have because you're not clear. And every time I thought I was ready for hiring, I was not clear, and I needed way more clarity than I thought I needed. Then I would hire again. I'm like, damn, I still need a little bit more clarity. And then the last time we got rid of pretty much my entire team, we only have one coach now because we finna rebuild our team up from the ground up. One of the things that we were looking at was, what direction are we going in 2025? And now that I have a plan and now that I'm clear as a CEO, I feel pretty confident in hiring a team. All right. Okay. So hopefully that answered your question. And then I don't think I see any more questions. This will be our last question. Do you recommend Fiverr for some things? I recommend Fiverr for whatever you can get on that joint. Fiverr is the GOAT. Like you could get graphic design on Fiverr. I've had bumper videos created on Fiverr. I've had people create me quizzes on Fiverr. Like you can get a lot done on Fiverr. Like Fiverr has come a long way. And so if you're not sure if Fiverr can, meet your standards or whatnot, just know they have drastically changed how they utilize their platform. And what I would do to kind of give you a hack, if you're thinking about hiring someone and you got some questions or whatever, like DM like 2 or 3 people at the same time and see who respond first, and then use that as your system for deciding on who you want to work with. So hopefully they answered your question. All right. I see a few more questions. Let me bookmark these. Well, I see one more question. Let's see. Okay. Thank you for answering my questions about the trademark. My next question is, how or who can I reach out to about the assessment? Did you take the assessment? If so, in your email, there's a link to book the debrief call. Did you book the debrief call? I just did one today with someone and they absolutely loved it. So I will re-reference the email if that's what you're talking about on how to get in contact with us. So on the thank you page of your results page, you should see a link to book a call. And then if you don't see it there, then check your email. And if you don't see it there, then shoot us a text message to 404. I want to make sure we got the right number. I want to give you the wrong number. Let's see. Send us a text message to 404-965-4113. Okay, let me put that in the chat. But received a reminder for tomorrow. I rescheduled for November, but I received a reminder for tomorrow. Are you coming? If you rescheduled, your reminder should reflect that. So just shoot us a text message after this live stream, just so I can get some clarity around what's going on and get you scheduled in the right place. So sell your skill set. Yep, I did that. Hired a marketing team before I was clear on my offer, and it was a big waste of money. So hopefully y'all get it, right? And so just know that like you need to be clear before working with folks, because if you're not clear, you're going to be in your feelings if you not get the result you want. And trust me, the service provider don't give a damn if you clear. And that's what you need to be afraid of. These service providers, if they know you're not clear, they like, how do I get to the end of this engagement with my check in my hand? Period. Like that's what a lot of them are thinking. How do I get to the end of this engagement with this unclear client? And they know they done took your money from you. That's the sad part. They know they took your money from you. And so this is why I want y'all to sit down and get clear. I want y'all to sit down and get clear. Okay. So, so just a quick recap. Make sure y'all head over to unclonedbrandscore.com to go and learn your uncloned brand score. It is absolutely free. Doesn't cost you anything. Head over to unclonedbrandscore.com. And when you get your results, book your debrief. Why would you go through the entire assessment and not book your debrief? Like, I just don't get it. So if you went through the assessment, you now know your score, book the debrief so we can help you understand it. And so you can get clear on where to focus as it relates to your uncloned brand score. It's a debrief call for those who need to get the clarity. I took the uncloned brand assessment. It's for everybody, period. If you took the assessment, it's for everybody. It's not for select people. If you want to understand your score on a deeper level and you want to know where you should be focusing and this and the third, that's the whole point of the debrief call. So hopefully that gave you some clarity. All right. So thank you all so much for tuning in to today's live stream. I pray that today was everything and some. And so we're going to play this uncloned book bundle commercial one more time, and we will be officially done, y'all. Until next time, y'all, let's go live an uncloned life and build an uncloned brand. Bye, y'all. Really quick, UnCloned Insiders, it's time to go from unknown to uncloned. You got to have the UnCloned book bundle, the #1 book bundle in the marketplace to help you live an uncloned life and build an uncloned brand. All you have to do is head over to unclonedbb.com. That is UnClonedbb.com. Until next time, let's go live an uncloned life and build an uncloned brand.